They've been to 5 finals in a row. So for them they're one of our teams to be making the final, wouldn't
Absolutely.
you say so?
Yeah, they're one of those teams that other football clubs look at and want to model their style. Mm-hmm. They play such a beautiful, defined style of play. They attract the biggest names. They have a brilliant academy that brings youth up into their full team. When we were wondering about their depth and the players they sold off at the beginning of the season, they told us to shut up and to not worry. And true, like they're completely just as excellent as they were last season with all of those players, and they continue to get better. So no worries coming into this Champions League, but they are beatable. They are a beatable team. So for Real Madrid, I know that the history isn't on their side, but if they can play a perfect game, I think that they could possibly pull the upset.
They're beatable once every like 5 years, isn't that what it was? They lost to Real Sociedad.
You're saying there's a chance.
I guess they lost to Arsenal too, but yeah, you're right. There's a chance.
So you would say they are beatable, maybe?
Yes, every team.
Yeah.
Every team can have their day where they can be beaten. However, Barcelona, those days are few and far between because they're just so good. They have the individual talent combined with the style of play, the tactics, the mentality of winners. If I'm Real Madrid, not looking forward to the game. An opportunity, right? But Barcelona is Barcelona. They are one of the best, if not the best, women's club
ever
in the world.
And to that point, I think that's when you play against a team like Barcelona, one of the best teams in the world. You have to play them with the utmost respect. And how do you do that? You have to recognize that they are the better team. I think Real Madrid has to recognize and accept that Barcelona is the better team. So how do they counter that? You have to be smart. I think we talked about it earlier. Does Real Madrid high press Barcelona? Do they sit back? I think Real Madrid shouldn't play Barcelona punch for punch. Because what happens when you get players like Eva Navarro high and wide? You expose yourself in the back. And if you give Barcelona that time and space, they're lethal. They're going to put the ball in the back of the net. So I think we saw Real Sociedad do it in Liga F last year versus Barcelona. They sat back. They sat back in a low block. They were patient. They were perfect defensively. They had one opportunity, and they scored it, and they won.
But do you think Real Madrid will allow themselves to do that? Because so many players, especially players of the caliber at Real Madrid, and Real Madrid being the club that it is, right? They don't want to sit back. You know, we've been on teams where the coach comes in, we're going over game plan for the week or heading into the weekend, and the plan is we're going to sit back. We're going to be defensive. We're going to sit in a low block. We're not going to press. Let them come to us. We're going to take advantage of the space behind if and when they come forward. So, and a lot of times you have players who are resistant to that because they feel like it's you're saying I can't hang.
Yeah,
you know?
Like they need to respect us.
Right.
And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
I completely agree.
But I agree with you. I think you were going to ask me, will Real Madrid do that?
Yes, will they?
I don't know. I think Real Madrid's coach, Pau Quesada, I think he lacks experience in the women's game. I think he looks at the players that he has on the field in Weir, Caicedo, Mendes, Misa Rodriguez in goal, Eva Navarro on the right wing. I think he thinks, we're just as good as Barcelona. Let's play them punch for punch. It doesn't work. It hasn't been working. So you have to do something different. And I think Real Madrid, if they go into this game, yes, with the winning mentality, but with starting from a solid low block, I think it could be a different game. I don't know if we're going to see it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Real Madrid players are very much aware they're going to be playing in El Clasico in the quarter-finals, and here is what Sara Dabritz had to say after the game.
And now in the horizon, Barca in the quarter-finals, a rival you know well, and a tough rival. How did you see this tie?
Of course, it's a tough rival. It will be a difficult game, but we're so motivated and we have time to prepare the upcoming matches. So enjoying our qualification today, and then we're going to prepare for the next round.
Thank you, Sara, and good luck. Congratulations.
Like we mentioned there, look, history doesn't bode too well for Real Madrid when they take on Barcelona. They're kind of in the shadow of them. They're going to be playing against them in the quarterfinals. Also, they're currently second place in Liga F with 47 points. They trail Barcelona, who are obviously at the top spot. They've been eliminated in the quarterfinals by Barcelona 4-0, and they lost in the final in the Supercopa de España 2-0 against Barcelona. We looked as well at the fixture list. Real Madrid are going to be playing Barcelona 3 times in 1 week. They've got the quarterfinals, and then they've also got league play in Liga F.
That's crazy.
That is a lot of El Clasico.
Surely
Yeah.
they can win one El Clasico there.
But it's like, which one do you want to win the most? Right?
Can you play the perfect game over 2 legs?
Yeah.
In a Champions League against Barcelona? Not many teams have done that.
But they do have something in their favour, Real Madrid. Barcelona have got some injuries at the moment. Do you think this will be maybe something that could potentially be stopping them in that quarterfinal, Janelli?
I don't think so. We saw early in Champions League, Eva Payor was out, didn't affect them. Claudia Pina stepped up. I think Vicky Lopez can step in that position, that role that Aitana is usually responsible for. And then Catacol in goal, that might be a more difficult position to fill, but I'm not worried about them right now.
Yeah.
Sounds like Catacol might be ready for
I think she's expected to be back maybe for that
matches,
quarterfinal game.
But they have so much firepower. Even when you have, these players out with injury, they're still rolling through their league play, have no issues, and I don't think that it's going to be a problem for them, even if all 3 of those players are not back for this quarterfinal match.
Even you mentioning Vicky Lopez can slot into that. They have so much young talent as well that are hungry to come in and play at this stage, make their imprint, become a starter on this team. It's a big opportunity for those players. I actually don't think the level is going to drop. No, it is an Aitani Bonmati player for player, but they have other qualities, and I think that's a really, really good shout. This team is just stacked.
Yeah.
Y'all.
You think, though, you haven't got a Ballon d'Or winner in your team and you're still dominating your league, you're still dominating Women's Champions League. Is there anything that can stop them? I mean,
A perfect defensive game.
We didn't think Arsenal could, and they did.
I think it comes down to how strategic Real Madrid is in accepting, like I said earlier,
committed they are to the
committed
strategy.
they are to the strategy, sticking to the plan, and Pau Quesada trying to outsmart Barcelona tactically.
And no deviations from it as well.
Every
They have
single
to
player
be
on the field has to be so locked in and
Yes.
together and not, like you said, deviating from that plan.